So I just got through cutting up about 16 pounds of pork butt. I've got 9 pints here. As you can see, there's a half teaspoon of salt on top of each one, quarter of a teaspoon of pepper, and then 4 of them have quarter of a teaspoon of Cajun spice. And they're just getting ready to go into the canner. Here's the fat that was pretty much cut off of everything. Little bits of meat in there. And I'm going to render that down to make some beautiful tallow for cooking. I do have some of that over here that is on its second filtering. There it is in the pan. Look at that pretty color. That's with water is under it. You always want to have some water under it. Makes it easier to pop the white cap off when it hardens. And then you also add salt to that when you're boiling it. That helps take out the impurities. After about the 3rd time, that'll be Snow White. I do have some over here. There's the blood from the pork, which I'm going to also cook up. I'll give you a shot of here's some of the tallow that I've made before. Only that much left, but I use that all the time for cooking, mainly on the skillet. There's a must-have for all of you. Definitely want to have your vacuum sealer. Of course, the other critical thing is your espresso machine, LOL. And you also have to have a Vitamix. Definitely a prerequisite. So we're getting ready to fill the canner. And we've got our 3 inches of water inside. And I just got through wiping the lids here with vinegar to make sure our tops are nice and clean. Here's all of our lids. So I kind of like using wide mouth lids for most of my canning. Not that I only use wide mouth, but for meats and stuff like that, soups, it's a little easier to load and unload, obviously. So we'll get our lids set on here. This was originally a 16-pound pork butt from Costco. I did cut it into 4 pieces, 4 pounds each basically. I did cook one up a week or so ago in the Instapot. Made a big batch of pulled pork for when the boy and I met over in Astoria. And so I have the other 3 left, which I had in the freezer. So they came out yesterday and are thawed out. So now we're getting ready to can them up. So, also have a few eggs. Obviously the girls have been working hard. I think I got 3 so far today, but they're not done yet. So now I'm just going to get some water to put on top of that pork that I'm rendering. Trying to find out what I did with the pitcher. Oh, there it is. I don't drink tap water or use tap water in any of my cooking if I can help it. I don't mind using it in the pressure canner because everything's sealed. So I will use tap water for that. But everything else, I just have the 5-gallon water bottles, which I'm right behind over here, filling up this little pitcher so I can add some water on top of that pork fat. Don't want to waste anything. So we'll add enough to cover it. And then you also want to add some salt, which helps purify. And then this will get strained like 3 times. You don't have to do that. You can do it once or twice. I'm a little anal in that. The more you strain it, the more it takes away the pork flavor, bacon and all that. If you ever want to use it for lotions or anything, it's not good to make lotions and then you smell like bacon. So we'll get this going. Let that, put it on low so it doesn't get out of hand. Okay, so now we need to just put our lids on, finger tight. I have 9 of them here, so in my canner should hold 9 on the bottom row. And of course I've got the All-American 921, which I've had this for over 30 years. I can't even begin to tell you how many jars have gone through this. Again, make sure and get your pork and meat and everything while it's cheap, relatively now, because it's probably going to go up. Well, we know it's going to go up. Beef has been going up big time. And I think I paid $31 for 16 pounds of pork. But, well, I'm going to have to use my second lid because I obviously am not going to get 9. I can only get 8. I have been getting some really nice jars from the Azure Standard, and they are 1.5 pints. Regular 1.5 pints are really nice because they're kind of tall, and a pint might not be enough for you. And lately the Azure Standard's 1.5 pint jars are a little, well, they're not tall and skinny anymore. They almost look like a pint jar, but they're just a little, I think they're just a tiny bit taller, but they're not tall and skinnier like the regular 1.5 pint jars that I was getting once in a while at Walmart, but they're hard to find. They don't ever seem to get them. And then all of a sudden, Azure Standard has their own brand, and they have the 1.5 pint jars. I'm just putting a little bit of oil on the rim of the pressure canner. And when I do my Azure Standard order, I'm not sure how many of you do that. You should check out Azure Standard. They have some amazing stuff. And I usually just throw a case of jars on or 2 every order. So we got everything in, everything sealed up, our water. And now we're going to put our lid on. Remember, this is cold jars to cold water. If you have preheated warm water, or if you're preheating your canner a little bit, then make sure that your jars are warm, or vice versa. You don't want to put cold jars into the hot canning water, or you'll get a cracked jar, possibly. So we're just going to cinch everybody down here. We've got the power on. The gas is on. Thank God I don't have electric. Wouldn't do this on electric. I would go ahead and use my Camp Chef out on the deck if I was relegated to that. Move things away here, kind of doing a little work on the counter, organizing. And put the vinegar away. And we're off to the races. As soon as that gets up to pressure, We set our timer. Let's go double check. I can't remember now if it's an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and a half. I usually sometimes like to err on the side of caution. You can always go a little longer. Is better than a little bit shorter. I think I'm going to add a little more water to this pork fat. This is really nice stuff. You should really try this if you haven't done it before. Turns out absolutely wonderful, and as you can see, I have my fajita iron skillet that basically lives on this front burner, and you know, you just heat it up. When you get done using it, you wipe it out with a paper towel. It's ready to go the next time. You just throw a little bit of tallow on it every once in a while, depending on what you're cooking. If you're cooking eggs and you use tallow that's only been filtered once, then it's really nice because your eggs kind of have a bacon flavor to them. So this is the first time I've done a video doing something like this. I've been canning and preparing for a long time. We'll do take you a quick walk over into the sunroom. There's my water supply. There's the sunroom, and here's both of my dehydrators. Two of those babies here. There's the sealer that came with my freeze dryer, and I've got a load of, maybe you can see it in there, but I have a load of oregano in there, which I'm going to pull out here momentarily and strip that off. There's the freeze dryer. Love that. If you can afford one of those, get one. And then here's my plants in the sunroom. There's a money tree. I have a coffee tree right here, and believe it or not, people told me I wouldn't do it, but there's coffee beans growing on that. So there we go, and hope you guys are having a great day. Here's my solar setup for the sunroom. And here in Washington, I don't get to use that a lot, but as we can see, we're at 27 volts. I'm on 24 volt system here, and matter of fact, I might just plug I don't have the sunroom plugged into that right now, so I might swap that over. There's a bunch of solar panels that are just kind of sitting waiting to be utilized. So anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and happy canning, and we will talk soon. This is Recon 1 out.